What's up, guys, man? We got a lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about. Let me drink this. It's not AG1. AG1 is great. This is cheaper, still third party tested, all the benefits, but God, the taste is rough. I think I'm going to have to put it in a smoothie next time, but I'm going to drink it because the benefits are great. But AG1 is just like pricey, man. Even when you break it down, it's pricey. This is like half the cost, and it's still got almost equally the ratings of AG1. But whatever. With Super Bowl week coming up, if anybody cares about that, I don't. I don't. I I I don't care about the teams. I don't care about the Patriots. I don't care about the Rams. I don't care. Who do you want to win out of the two? You got to pick. No, I don't. I don't care. I'm sick of the Patriots, although they haven't been in a while. I'm just sick of them, and I don't care about the Rams. I shut up. I care about the commercials. I love that. I always love the commercials because they go all out, and it takes me back to the days when commercials usually or would try to attempt to sell a product and have some cool marketing behind it. The problem with it is, though, you can start to see those commercials now online. So I feel like it kind of ruins the experience. I gotta go to the dentist too. Dentist and doctor. I'm a mess. Um, it's the year to fix up my teeth. So here comes the money. Here goes the money. Anyway, but Bad Bunny's going to crush it and piss off a lot of people, and I'm excited about it. I'm not a Bad Bunny fan. I don't even claim to be, but I don't have anything against him, and it makes sense. Look at the Spotify. Look at what he sells out in concerts. We talked about this last week. Um, so there's that. That's going to be cool. Turning Point. God, Turning Point USA, biggest cult fraud joke stupid movement I've ever seen. They're going to put on a halftime show as well for everybody, for every patriot out there. Patriot's the new word to say racist. Patriot is racist. It's not racist, but the word that they are using and owning is now affiliated. Unfortunately, we have to separate that. Affiliated with these redneck, backwoods, MAGA thumping racists. It sucks because you can be patriotic and you can be a patriot for our country. And people that fought in these wars to get us here are patriotics and true patriots. These guys living in a trailer park on the side of a mountain, waving their MAGA flags and their beer guts hanging out past their knees, not patriots, just racist. And that's what they're doing. But I digress. There's going to be like 4 people at the Klan rally down the street watching this halftime show for Turning Point. Nobody can Kid Rock and some wannabe country art. Like, shut up, dude. We're gonna steal the viewers from the Super Bowl and the patriotic, and Trump will be there being an idiot. Oh God. Anyway, but that doesn't matter. ICE is everywhere. ICE was actually everywhere in Texas in more than one way. We got that ice storm I talked about. It wasn't nearly as bad. I need to just slam this like tequila. It wasn't nearly as bad as what everybody said it was. It had moments, and God, it wasn't nearly as bad as everybody bought. But thank you for buying and keeping me in business, and my company in business, our company in business, the company I work for, and making me have a record week. So thank you for buying all the alcohol. I appreciate that for those 2 days. Kids are out of school all week, man. All week. They went one day, dude. My son went to school one day, and then he had the weekend, bro. And then he's off next Friday. Oh, my God. Anyway. ICE is everywhere. The Gestapo, garbage, racist, overpowered, small dick organization is everywhere. Killing Americans, stepping on your rights, deporting innocent people. Probably finding some criminals in there too, but they're so now focused on mass deportations and overstepping their boundaries to infiltrate and really get us used to a militarized United States that they're lost all credibility that they ever had, if they had any to begin with. So, but meanwhile, I've been watching a lot of movies, and I've been struggling lately because you have to. You have to take care of yourself, your family, your friends, your job, and focus like this. But I think that we can't keep doing that as human beings and as a society while all this stuff is going on. Because it's been going on for a long time, centuries, and it's gotten worse. And now you have, the military behind it. Not the military as that. I'm just talking about you have these other things going on to suppress, censor, disrupt, and control the people so they can do what they want. A lot of people made fun of conspiracy theorists, and they're funny. But when those conspiracies start to become truth, when the evidence is mounting and it's so large that you can't ignore what the conspiracy theorists have been saying for the past 20 years, what some of us normal-ish people have been saying for the past God knows how long. And now people that are like, their eyes are finally open. It's like they live and they put the glasses on and they see the reptilian aliens hiding in human skin in front of them. And they're like, oh my God, this is really happening. It's like these people are finally putting their glasses on and seeing what our country is under right now, what is happening in the country. But forget the country, the world, society, and what we're going towards and what's been happening. And I'm talking about the filthy, elitist, rich, billionaire criminal empire that has spread its cancerous fingertips across the globe and has it in everything from technology, from entertainment, from the money, from our jobs, infiltrated the church, infiltrated religion, clothes, has divided us and conquered us and have got us fighting with each other. And when it said we should be fighting them. And meanwhile, innocent people, innocent children, women, young boys, and just innocent people across the board are disappearing, are being sacrificed in more than one way to their cause. Brandon, what are you talking about? What if you don't know what I'm talking about? And by the way, I have not taken on any crazy extracurricular activities like skydiving and mountain climbing or anything like that, or intense workouts. I am in pretty healthy shape. So if I disappear, y'all need to look into that. I will. But I say that because I feel like we should all say that. Because it's going to be at that point, and it's going to be that North Korean censorship, talk against the supreme leader type vibe in this country for at least coming soon. I may not be on this world anymore. It may be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now. It's happening. So anyway, so am I being funny? Kind of. Am I being serious? Yes. But, and I believe that in my heart. It's hard to do normal things like watch a bunch of movies, and talk about it and live your daily life. You have to, but we have this going on. But we're talking about Epstein, and we're not talking about Epstein. Guys, I don't have enough time, energy to go over everything that's out there and everything that's not out there. And because it's too much. For those of you out there that are saying that Epstein was a man who connected with a few people that committed horrible crimes against children, you're dead wrong. Because you make it sound smaller than it is. Oh, this guy just weaseled his way into these parties because he had money, and he was literally with some of the most powerful people in the world for over 20 years and beyond until he killed himself, which he didn't. On one side, you have this party, and I have to really stay focused in my mind because there's a lot of things that I could talk about. At one side, you have this party, this so-called Republican Party, that is, this is a Democratic thing, and they just want the files out because they're trying to play this game, even though the Democrats are mostly on the list. Trump, deadbeat person, deadbeat loser, lying to you. Lying to you. And you maggots just eat it up. Oh, yeah, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. He's constantly betrayed his own party and the people that have got him to office. He lied to you, but you still want to eat the bull crap that he's feeding you. He's lying to you now. This is just a farce. He appeared in the Epstein files over 1,000 times. This is not a situation, a Russell Wilson situation, who appeared in the Epstein files once or twice. Well, Brandon, everybody that appeared in there is not guilty. Oh, I'm aware of that. Because of what the crooked organizations and the crooked people and the crooked politicians that Epstein encountered himself with and surrounded himself with, they did things that reached the public all for their demonic means. Charities, flying celebrities to Africa to help the children. Meanwhile, there he's literally trafficking children, building schools for the young girls in Africa. So some of those celebrities got trapped in that thing. I'm going to go do this. And then they found out, oh, shoot, this is what's happening. And some of them stayed because they want to be involved and others disappeared. Russell Wilson immediately came out and said, yeah, absolutely. This is what happened. I tried to buy an airplane. When I made my contacts and I found out who the guy was who was selling the airplane, I never bought it. And thank God I didn't, because he tried to buy an airplane from Jeffrey Epstein. Guys, this is not going on Facebook Marketplace and you're meeting somebody for a $5 toaster in the back of, an apartment complex. You're buying an airplane, okay? There's only so many things you can do to buy an airplane. So Russell Wilson cleared his name, and guess what? He doesn't appear in there again. Do I believe him? Yeah. Do I believe somebody that's been in the Epstein files over 1,000 times and has pictures with him and has pictures with other people that have been in there over 2,000 times, 9,000 times, and they're in videos with young girls? No, I don't. Where there's smoke, there is fire, guys. Okay? You can play it off for a little bit. You can play it off for a minute. Oh, yes, we did encounter. He came to my party. Didn't really like the guy, never saw him again. And if the timelines line up, cool. But if you continue to say that you never saw him again, and now the DOJ, Department of Jerk-Offs, just released what they have, it's not all of it, weird redactions and then weird non-redactions, and we'll get in that in a minute, and your timeline doesn't add up to what they released, you're lying. But it's not about Trump, guys. We're not here to just talk about Trump. We have to go beyond that, because I think our minds, because the everyday people, most everyday people can't fathom what true power and money is and corruption is. And most everyday people can't fathom the disgusting things that we're reading or seeing or not seeing or we know happened from the survivors and the victims. Now you're forgetting there are victims that can't speak because they're not around anymore. We can't, put our name and face around it. And we have desensitized ourselves so much by some of the things we watch, by some of the things we read, that we correlate it with entertainment until we literally break it down and go, these are real people. And then it becomes something that our minds can't handle because our minds are not wired this way. That's why. So let's go beyond Trump. We know he's a scumbag. We know he's involved. And he's sitting in our office, which tells something about the United States of America right now. Epstein is not the only person. He was the center of it because he got caught, because he was in every picture, but he was not the only person. He was powerful but he had an organization behind him. And more importantly, he had countries behind him. Former Prince Andrews used his royalty. He's no longer a prince anymore. That doesn't mean anything. He should be in jail. His wife or ex-wife used their connections in the royal family to pay, to be paid, and to participate in some horrible things. And if you don't believe me, God, my tooth hurts. It's all out there. There are photos of him numerous times with young girls, children, dressed up, playing games. One of them's laying on the floor. Her face is covered, as she should be, because she's a victim. He's on top of her. Emails back and forth with him and other figures that we don't know, names that are connected with Epstein and the island and everybody involved. At a dinner table. Oh, God, that hurts. With Mick Jagger, Bill Clinton, and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. A handler. The facilitator. The woman that's still breathing in prison that shouldn't be. Asking, is this the Russian one? There's an email. Is this the Russian one? That'll be fine. There's plenty of privacy at Buckingham Palace. Okay. Saudi Arabian princes. Romanian prime ministers. So if you think for 1 second that Jeffrey Epstein's just some guy that got money and cooperated, no, he's part of the circle of some very, very corrupt people. Oh, my chest hurts too. Very, very corrupt people. Very disturbing people that have been doing things for years in the shadows of their billions and millions of dollars and power. So that's the organization that got Jeffrey his plane, that got Jeffrey his island. He bought an island, okay? Think about that. It's hard enough to buy a house for 90% of the American people. He bought an island and was left alone to do whatever he wanted. He connected to so many people that were around young girls. Jean-Luc Brunel. You don't know who Jean-Luc Brunel is? He was a French model scout, and he's led the international modeling agency, Karen Models, and founded MC2 Model Management with Jeffrey Epstein. Why? Well, you have, just like Donald Trump, you have a catalog of young girls to use and abuse. And we know that that happened in the modeling agency for years and still happens. In 1988, Brunel faced allegations of pimping and sexually assaulting women for 3 decades. Brunel came under scrutiny for his ties to Epstein, with whom he worked with from the early 2000s to 2016. Brunel was accused of grooming girls and taking part in an alleged sex trafficking operation involving Jeffrey Epstein. Can we not say alleged anymore? Because he was. In 2019, the police launched the investigation after he went into hiding following Jeffrey Epstein's death. He went into hiding. Why? Because he knew they were coming. He was arrested on December 16, 2020, and they charged him with rape of minors. However, he hung himself in his cell before he could be prosecuted. He hung himself in his prison cell before he could be prosecuted after he went into hiding because Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. This isn't an SVU episode. This isn't The Equalizer. This isn't Taken. This is real life. And I haven't even got to it. Sit back. This is a disturbing episode that needs to be talked about. And we as human beings need to wake up. Because it's going to be a long one, guys. It's going to be a long one. Until I get so sick that I just quit. There are pictures of him and Epstein with young women. No, they're not even young women. They're girls. They're girls. And there are pictures with him. By the way, they used to nickname him the Ghost because he would disappear. Great. There are pictures with him and Jeffrey Epstein holding babies, toddlers, 3, 4, 5 years old, surrounded by adults. Whose kid is this? There are pictures of Jeffrey Epstein and this scumbag swimming with children. There's an email from somebody currently in the administration, mind you, saying that he was coming to the island. Jeffrey asked if it would just be him and his wife or him and his children. He said, I'm bringing another couple. They have 3 kids, daughters. Jeffrey Epstein's response was, perfect. See you there. One of those girls was never seen again. When asked by the parents where she was, she said, well, she stayed on the island to do some modeling, and then she just disappeared. She ran away from everybody. Jeffrey dropped her off here, and nobody was there to pick her up, and she disappeared. No criminal charges were filed, but she disappeared. That's normal, right? Parents don't seem worried, don't care, left a girl on the island with a stranger? Sure. You have so many different lords and princes that are involved that it is disturbing. Disturbing. But what's more disturbing about this is if we peel back the layers of the disgusting PDFs, the pedos, the child predators, the assaults, and the depravity and the abuse and the level of disgusting fantasies that they laid out, it goes beyond that. Because why? Because there's 2 parts to this. There's that, which is the most disturbing thing we could think about until you dive deeper. And these are emails, guys. These are emails proven to be from Jeffrey Epstein to whomever and from whomever to Jeffrey Epstein. Again, some of these names are redacted, but some of them aren't. Bill Gates is on there over 1,000 times. Bill Gates came out and denied it. There's pictures of him on the island. That was for a charity event. I never saw anything inappropriate. There's an email from Bill Gates to Jeffrey Epstein talking about a sexually transmitted disease that Bill Gates got. And Bill Gates assumes it's from one of the girls that he was with. I assume it's from your friend. Could you find out? I need to get some medicine for this. And Jeffrey was helping Bill Gates get some medicine for the situation. One of the reasons Bill Gates and his wife divorced is because of the relationship that he had with Jeffrey Epstein. But Bill Gates is denying it. There's an email talking to Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein about possible pandemic scenarios. Just as if, why not? It's not coded at all. They're just blatantly talking about possible scenarios for a pandemic. COVID happened, right? I'm just saying, this is the type of stuff. It goes beyond these parties, but that's what brought them together. And Jeffrey Epstein was obviously collecting enough information and data, and in a sense, a blackmailing organization because he's got trinkets, trophies, pictures, emails, all of that. Get in line, be on the same page with what we're trying to do, or I'm going to release this package. It's not letting him off the hook. I'm not saying that he wasn't doing things on his own. But when you peel back the layers and the layers keep going and going and going, and you're looking at people like Elon Musk was in there. Elon Musk, I'd very much like to come to the island. He denied having to do anything sexual with the girls, yet he also maintained a friendship or a connection with Jeffrey Epstein after his first arrest. I would think that if I didn't know that Jeffrey Epstein or somebody I was with was doing things like this, and then they got arrested for it and it was proven, I'd be like, yep, I'm out. Especially a person on that side of that big of power. But you continued to talk to him after that. Richard Branson, one of the millionaires, billionaires in the world, one of the richest men, most connected to everything, was emailing Jeffrey Epstein about how they can rebrand him and repackage him and do some PR damage and PR control after his initial arrest before he got arrested again and hung himself. They were trying to cover him up. Israeli government officials, former prime ministers of Israel, pictures with Epstein. Great. There's pictures of Bill Clinton in a bath or in a hot tub with a young girl. Okay. Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein sitting at a table, all men dressed in suits. A red box is sitting in the middle of the picture, and there's something written on it. It's all redacted. Sarah Ferguson. You don't know who Sarah Ferguson is? She was married to Prince Andrew, sitting next to Ghislaine Maxwell, watching a girl lay down on a table. There are photographs. Here's one of Richard Branson and Jeffrey Epstein just chilling on an island. I can keep going, guys. Walter Cronkite, Jeffrey Epstein, and an unknown man. Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Chris Tucker. I'm laughing not because it's funny, but because of the reach. Well, Brandon, not everybody involved and not everybody that met Jeffrey Epstein did things like this. Fair. But when the timeline again adds up that you knew what he was a part of, why did you continue? Richard Branson knew what he was a part of. Donald Trump knows what he's been a part of. I mean, this gets Stephen Tisch, the New York Giants corner, mentioned over 400 times in a 2013 email exchange. The subject line was Ukrainian girl. Tisch asked, poor or civilian? Question mark. He came out and said, I was looking for a prostitute. I shouldn't have done that. Really? The president of the committee for the 2028 Summer Olympics in LA exchanged emails with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, Casey Wasserman. In 2003 and 2004, I think of you all the time. What do I have to do to see you in a tight leather outfit? He wrote to Maxwell. Then he said to Jeffrey, maybe I can come over. We can have another pizza party. I'm getting to that in a minute, guys. Former Israeli Prime Minister and his wife, Ehud Barak. 2017, 2008, 400 times. There's pictures of him and his wife laying with a young girl. Redacted. Larry Summers, Clinton's former Secretary of Treasury. Howard Lutnick, President Trump's Commerce Secretary, visited Epstein's private island with his family, at least on one occasion. However, they talk about going back because they had such a good time in 2012. They plan to arrive by yacht with their children. 2012 after he got arrested in 2008, by the way, guys. I'm going to keep going. Billionaire Google co-founder Steve Bannon, one-time Trump advocate there. I don't know who this national security advisor for the Slovakian prime minister. Well, that's a human trafficking if I've ever heard it. I've watched enough movies to know that's trafficking. Guys, these are powerful people in powerful positions in powerful countries. Can't tell you how many Rothschilds are on there. And this is the thing, this is where it gets really disturbing because, yes, it's about kids and women and the horrible things, but it's also, there's videos on there of him like chasing young girls around the kitchen playing. There's a girl dressed up as a sailor on his phone, a redacted. This is the big giant block face, but you know she's young. You can tell by the size of her hands and the voice. And he said he's going to take her on the boat, and she cries a little. The anger is there, but the disgusting and hard, I had to stop. I'm not going over 300 million documents because some of it is just nonsense. Like a lot of it's from the lawyers, but there's things on there where he was involved in Hollywood studios to help make movies. We all know Hollywood. Harvey Weinstein, all over the place. We all know about him. And when you start to look at some of these situations, and this is where it's going to get real difficult for some of you to believe or to understand or to care. If you start to look at some of these situations, it is proof, in my opinion, that the spiritual warfare is so much deeper and in front of us than you could possibly ever imagine. And I'm not talking Christianity because some of you aren't, you don't believe in that. You're not Christian. You're not, maybe you're Jewish. Maybe you're nothing. But I think that if we deny that spiritual warfare exists, whatever that good versus evil, if you want to break it down on a simplistic form, these people are following a pattern of demonic behavior and sacrificing kids. I know what you're going to say, and I mean sacrificing in more than one way, guys. They don't care. They're in a position of, it's like that scene in Eyes Wide Shut, which is really just laughing at us. I don't know how that movie ever got made, where they essentially give their daughter away to these two men so that they can leave with their lives. The reason I say this is, and we're going to get to the pizza party stuff too. There's always been a talk of secret societies, and there's always been secret societies throughout the universe or throughout the world and the decades and all that. And I think secret societies, excuse me, secret societies are scary. They are. And there are beliefs and rituals in these secret societies, frat houses at times. I mean, if you look at some of that, I mean, it borderlines at sororities, borderline rituals and secret societies and all that to get into these elite schools and be part of the elites, right? You got to join a sorority and do this. And I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying all the frat houses, fraternities are that way, but you got to join this and do these things to be in these things. But if you look in these Epstein files and how scary they are, there are moments in these files and emails between Jeffrey Epstein and famous I'm pulling them up right now because I have to read it all, so I'm not getting like, hey, you didn't read it all. You know, you're wrong. This is crazy stuff, man. Him and other people talking about sacrificing, torture. Do you want me to play with her or should I just torture her for you? Okay, that can be looked at as the most disgusting form of whatever. But there's another and I'm pulling it up right now, guys. There's another moment in these files where they talk about babies, specifically babies, and say, well, how many do you need with these babies? One of the emails says, are you looking for another small one? How many do you need of these babies? I'm flying out next week. Redacted these names. But that's Jeffrey Epstein's replying. Sure, I can arrange that. We have a visit at my home, not in New York. I have other people coming. Small ones, babies? And I'm not talking that he's like, somebody could say, like, well, Brandon, he's referring to the underage girls as babies. Okay, that doesn't make it any better. But it goes worse. There are drawings in a room. There's a chair. There's all these chairs, and there's blackboard behind it. And there's weird things on the walls. He's got a dentist room with men's masks. Why would you need a dentist chair and a full, maybe to remove teeth, maybe to do some surgery on your mouth? I don't know. In this room, it almost looks like a lounge area, but there's like 4 or 5 chairs and tables, but giant wall of blackboard. And there's things written on it, numbers and stuff, but there's words like power, corruption, and then there's like drawings of symbols. And then there's some Moloch references. If you don't know who Moloch is, we're on our way there, guys. Mind you, it's not the first time that people of power have talked about Moloch. This goes all the way back to the beginning of the Rothschilds and their famous parties with Moloch. That's not fake, that's real. Anyway, and there's another email with a picture on it that says, what do you think of this table? This gets weird. Excuse me. And the table has the owl cut out on it, but it's an owl that we have seen a lot connected with ritualistic behavior. in the famous place in California. I always forget the name, whatever the groves are, where the presidents go and all that crap. Bohemian Grove, where they would do very similar chants and all that. They have the owl shrine there and a lake. The shrine, of course, is covered in moss and all that, but the owl shrine is there. Jeffrey Epstein had the table with the exact same owl on it. There's a reason. The owl is like for silence. Somebody replied to the table, "That's great. I bet you that cost a lot." Jeffrey Epstein replied back, "Doesn't matter. I think this will be perfect for our next pizza party." Guys, they mentioned pizza parties and pizza over 500,000 times that we know of. This email. And I'm getting back to the Moloch thing because it's all connected, guys. This email. I think this pizza pan looks like the shape of a butt. How many pizzas do you want me to make from this pan? Just like one sentence stuff to people, other people. This was a great pizza party. The pizza party was extra special today. The pizza was extra special today. Jeffrey Epstein responds back, "Yes, it was." Ghislaine Maxwell responds back, "I have another pizza party planned very soon. You will enjoy this even more." Prince Andrew responds back, "I will make this one. Very upset I missed the other one." Jeffrey Epstein responds back to Andrew, "Don't worry, we'll save you some pizza next time." Who's making the pizza? Am I, or is somebody flying it in? Pizza, 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 over and over again. Everybody thought 20 years ago that we thought Pizzagate was made up. Ellen DeGeneres handed out pizzas to everybody at one of the award shows. Pizza is mentioned X amount of times. I told you, 5,000 times. It's conspiracy, right? You guys don't know what Pizzagate is? And this is all connected. It's a conspiracy theory that went viral during the 2016 election cycle, falsely claiming that New York City Police Department had discovers a pedophile ring linked to members of the Democratic Party while searching through Anthony Weiner's emails. It's been extensively discredited by a wide range of organizations. Has it? Has it? Because Bill Clinton's on an email asking for more pizza. It's right in front of our faces. And this particular one says, "We'll have a pizza, but then we have to meditate." Moloch is a bull-headed bronze idol, okay? Back in the Old Testament, I believe. But it was during like Hebrew, biblical, whatever. And they would do child sacrifices to Moloch. He demanded child sacrifices. And the reason that he demanded the child sacrifice was so that you could gain this power, because children are the most innocent and pure and a representation of God and purity and all that is good. So by destroying that, you are showing how connected you are to Moloch. Why was there Moloch references in Jeffrey Epstein's Island? Why is there Moloch references in Bohemian Grove tied in with the owl? Why is there Moloch pictures in all these Rothschild family photos, houses, parties? Jim Carrey came out And everybody thought he was crazy when he was talking about Hollywood doesn't care about children, politicians don't care about children, they don't care about hurting children, killing children. And then he disappeared because he's like, I'm done with Hollywood. Mel Gibson's done a lot of things, but Mel Gibson came out and said there is groups of elitists out there that will absolutely bathe in the blood of children. And everybody thought they meant don't, like he didn't mean that literally. He said it. You now have an email. And guys, I'm going to throw up and probably take a shower and pray after this, but you have an email. Babies taste like cream cheese. Take that for what you will. There was a woman, one of the victims, that says that she swears they were cannibalizing human beings, small human beings on the island after they drugged her and she woke up. They redacted her name, but she is an alive victim that is going on, like, we've seen her face. They're just not saying who said it. I don't know if she was part of the core four or what. We are in an evil time. The country is not the country you knew or hoped for. It is run by people that don't even live here. It is run by people that aren't even on the same planet as us. They will do anything and everything they can to keep their power. And this isn't saying Moloch is real. He's the idea that they worship. I mean, they also used to worship like 500, headed cows with a donkey tail, or a lizard tail with spider legs. I don't know. It's part of the ritualistic behavior to get into power. And we've seen it happen. And we've seen celebrities come out and say otherwise. And they usually distance themselves from Hollywoods or they disappear. And it's been going on for years, beyond Epstein. But that's who he was part of. And here's the thing, guys. All the names are out there, not all of them. Nobody's being arrested. Well, Brandon, this can't be true. If all the names are out there, how's nobody being arrested? Because the government is corrupt, because the DOJ doesn't care. The FBI doesn't care. Trump doesn't want to be arrested unless it's his opponent. He's over here crying. He wants an idol built from him. The dude is more Kim Jong-un than Kim Jong-un. I'm going to build the biggest temple, or, we've got this new ballroom going in just because of me. We're going to name this the Trump Kennedy Center. We're going to name this the, I need to be on a coin. He wants to be worshiped. He's a child who has done horrific things, probably committed some atrocities that I can't even speak of. No, definitely did. And people worship him. That is your false idol. And he is paving the way for the next round. Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter, guys. They're all there. Why didn't Joe Biden release the files, when he had them? Why? Okay, well, let's go to the president before that, and the president before that, and the president before that. Why? Because they're all involved. That's not crazy to think about. I'm not saying that every single person that has ever seen Epstein is involved. There are people that have distanced themselves. You don't see Denzel Washington's name in there. You don't see Kendrick's name in there. You don't see Tupac's name in there. You know what I mean? You don't see Obama's name in there. Just saying. There's other Democrats. You don't see him. Oh, Obama's too powerful. You're not too powerful. Not against these people, because the people that run this country are people that you don't even know. The people that run the world are people that you don't even know. It is disgusting. And what they're doing with ICE and the military and the censorship and buying up TikTok and destroying TikTok and buying up this and making things harder and harder and harder and division is so they can get away with doing what they want. It is spiritual warfare. I mean that from the bottom. Demons are everywhere, man. Everywhere. And I don't care what religion you are. If you're no religion, you got to recognize that it's spiritual warfare regardless of what you believe. It is absolutely time for people in the United States and the world to stop fighting with each other and get your family together, get your business sorted, and stay alert and stay focused. I'm not being crazy. It's probably the most sane I've ever been on this podcast. It sounds like it because it's so very different from me, but I'm not going to look at that stuff anymore. But I don't think we should stop talking about it. And I do think we should go enjoy life and movies and your kids and all that. Absolutely. But I don't think, because what they're doing is they're showing you what they have and they're showing you what they can do just so they can continue to do it. And they're going to show you, yeah, we could do all this. We have a sacrificial lamb. We whacked out 2 of them, and Ghislaine Maxwell will probably be whacked out soon. But we're not going to arrest anybody. It ain't going to happen. We're going to continue to do this. We're just going to change the way we do things. So it's Hunger Games, guys. It's Purge. It's all of this. It goes beyond racism. That's there. It goes beyond the horrible, disgusting acts that they did with young girls and boys and children. It goes beyond that. I just accidentally shut off my other light. My bad. I have to fix that. It goes beyond that. But it's there. And I have to say, at this point, guys, I used to sit there and say, I don't care who you vote for, and I don't, because they're all corrupt. And I used to say, look, especially during Trump's first run, nobody wanted Hillary. I mean, some people did, but nobody did. And that's why he won. It's not that Hillary was a woman and we don't want a woman president. We don't want that woman president. There's plenty of women out there that we could get as president. I'll vote for her if she comes up. But, got to be some good ones out there. I know there are. I just don't know their names off the top of my head. And then we got Biden because Trump was so crazy. And then now Trump's even worse. So I got to say this, guys. If you are MAGA, everybody says this, unfollow me. You don't have to unfollow me. I mean, you can still listen to me, and thank you, because it does give me a little bit of money. But guess what? I've already unfollowed you. I'm too old to keep people around in my life that are no longer connected with how I want to be, who I want to be, who I'm trying to be. So we're just not going to play that anymore. If I got to do business with you, I'm going to do business with you, but please don't talk politics. And I've got some good friends. I got one in particular that is so delusional that it's about time that I'm just like, because he's not really that good of a friend anymore. If you are making excuses for a pedo, and you're making excuses for what's connected to these files, and you're making excuses about ICE, and you're making excuses about the government killing innocent people, I don't need you in my life anymore, dude. I don't need you in my life anymore. So it's just time to 86. It's a cleansing. Don't worry, I've already started it. So you don't have to unfollow me, but you can if you want. Fix my light. It's just crazy to me. And I think that the more people, because I think what this is going to do, this is going to mind blow so many people that they're going to get not desensitized, but numb and just focus on other stuff. Ooh, the Grammys are on. Ooh, and we got to entertain ourselves. I thought the Grammys had cool music. I love music. We got to entertain ourselves. It's going to make you question who you support. It is. It's going to make you feel really bad. But do some research and remember, they are all lying to you. So when it comes time to vote, don't sit there and be like, we got to turn the state to Democrats. Really? Because they're lying too. And they're in there too. This country doesn't care about women and doesn't care about children. They view them as inferior to men. It's proven, because anytime a woman comes out and says she's been assaulted, the first thing people say is, why'd she wait so long? Where's the proof? She's probably just mad at him. You have women sitting there saying, oh, that 17-year-old, when I was 17, I knew what I was doing. She wasn't a minor, so whatever. Oh, when I was 14 and I fooled around with a guy, there's a woman on TikTok. She got banned though. There's a woman on TikTok who said, oh, they were 14. When I was 14, I did stupid stuff too. So yeah, let's not call him a pedophile. What's the excuse for the babies that were given? You guys ever heard of baby farms? That's a thing. That's a real thing. I'm not going to talk about it because it disturbs me, but they've busted him before. And one of Jeffrey Epstein's buddies was part of a baby farm. So the point in all this is not to disturb you, but it's to make you understand that we are going up against something really big, and the only way to do it is to stick together. And I'm afraid the only way to fix it is to burn this country to the ground and start over. I know I'm going to get hate for that, probably censored. And I don't mean that as in seeking violence. I don't mean that as in literal. I mean that, maybe. I mean that is, it's time to, if we the people have the power, then we the people need to get shit or get off the pot. You know what I mean? And at 47, I look at my son, who's 8, who's going to have to face these trials and tribulations later, you know? I'll have to somehow navigate through that while still enjoying our life. And we, as all parents, do. But I'm willing to write off family if they don't see what I see. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I'm getting at. That's the level you got to get to. Because you can't make excuses anymore. Especially you freaking Trumpers out there. You're driving me crazy. You can't make excuses anymore. You did it. You did it 1,000 times, over 1,000 times. Oh, it's fake. Go away, please. Well, Trump's doing this for my taxes. So then you just told me that you're willing to sacrifice children for your taxes. I had a woman, she works for, she's some stupid Republican, and she did an interview where she said, so what? Trump got a little handsy with a girl. At least he's stopping the criminals. So we're willing to let certain things slide for certain beliefs. Well, Trump can get handsy with a girl, or this person get handsy with a girl, but as long as we, deport these immigrants, that's fine. I had a woman say, there's not one person on this land that was here, and she was serious, that is pure and that has been here since before we, this country was invaded. So we need to stop saying it's not our land. Apparently, we're just going to forget about all the Native Americans that are out there that are pure, that literally got sent to reservations so they didn't have to assimilate and didn't have to destroy our blood. That's what it is. They've remained pure. Apparently, we're forgetting about all of them. Can we as America just really just accept the fact that we came in and took over a land and committed heinous crimes? And you know what? That we need to be better, and we need to not forget, because it's happening again and it's going to happen again. Oh, every country's been invaded, Brandon. Oh, it doesn't make it right. But the way that this party and that these people and these movements are happening is they're trying to just get rid of it, erase it. It took down the slavery historical memorial in Philly. Just ripped all of it down. Trump ordered it. Why? Oh, it'll just go back up when the next president comes. That's not the point. And no, it won't. We are in something much bigger, guys. Anyway, if you get a chance and you want to corroborate what I'm saying, or you want to see if I'm speaking the truth, it's all out there. I can send you links. You can go to the stupid DOJ's thing. I'm going to tell you right now. It is littered. It's hard to follow. They don't They don't label anything. They just dumped it. It is like the first 500 emails are between lawyers. There's pictures and videos. There's cell phone records. There's all kinds of stuff. But if you don't want to do that and you want to see, I've got people that have actually done that have actually gone to it and looked at it and have broken it down. I'd be happy to share that with you as well. But think about what I'm saying. Protect yourself, protect your kids. Screw Trump. Screw the Democrats. Screw Schumer. Screw the DOJ. Screw the FBI. Screw ICE. Screw MAGA. I could keep going. And honestly, screw anybody out there that disagrees.